Hey.
We made it. I needed to send a message here to our buddy Troy. We'll do that. I just sent that to Troy. This is for you, buddy, right there. Troy, no complaining unless it's attached to a super chat. I'm not going to take no lip from that kid. In case you guys are wondering, StreamYard's got a new feature where you can simulcast to vertical and horizontal. So we're trying that out tonight. You'll notice on top of the horizontal feed that I do have a link to the one. So if you're watching on your phone, you can always click on that link and go directly to the one that's going to show it in vertical mode, and you'll be able to see it a lot better. So there you go, folks.
Sweet. Looks good.
Welcome to Cranky Old Anglers, Lyle.
Sir.
You got some explaining to do to the crowd.
About last week?
There you go.
Oh, well. I sat here last week, Mark, and was waiting for you to come in so we could visit like we do before we start the show. And there's a basement to these things for the people that don't know, where you can be in there and not be on screen.
Backstage.
Yeah, on stage. And I didn't put myself in there. I was just sitting there waiting for you to come around, and dozed off and slept through our time to do the show.
I was asking, I put polls up about the McRib trying to give you some extra time, bud. I bet you the people in chat were like, what the heck, McRib? What the hell is that all about?
You know, you can say McRib all you want to. If I'm going to go to McDonald's, I'm having a fillet of fish.
Amen. I'm with you there. I like a fillet of fish. That's pretty much the only thing I like at McDonald's. Well, the fillet of fish and the hash browns in the morning, I got to admit, those are pretty darn good.
Well, I kind of like them Egg McMuffins, but, they don't serve them. If they serve them around the clock at all of them, I would probably eat there a little more often. Especially, they used to have them like for 69 cents, and then they was $1. And now they're like $4 or $5 for a freaking Egg McMuffin. It ain't worth that.
I saw somebody say that they paid $4 for one of them hash browns. I'm like, you're out of your mind.
Yeah, ain't no way.
I ain't gonna do that.
2 different chats.
Yeah, it's like 2 different shows simultaneously. I just kind of figured that out myself. Thanks for bringing that up, Nubby. But if you guys are in live chat here, if you're watching on the horizontal, the people on the vertical, they're different chats. We're gonna try it this week. If it turns out to be a problem, if we got too many issues with it, here we go. we'll make a change.
Joe, you're off.
Thank you, Troy. Troy with the $5 super chat says, there you go, you a-hole.
You invited me into a chat the other night with Jody and Troy and another gentleman that I did not know. And I got to tell you, I was editing video and stuff, but I had a great time in there. It was a lot of fun. You guys were
That was Brian B. He was just hiding behind his avatar. So
no, the guy was with Troy.
Oh, that was his brother. That was Troy's brother. Poor guy. He takes care of that crickety old Troy, and he runs him around, makes him do all sorts of stuff for him. So,
hey, that works for me.
Yeah, what do you say? Look, there's our buddy Greg. That reminds me, I better say hello to everybody. Thanks again, Trey.
Happy birthday to Greg Burgess.
Happy birthday, Greg. May you have many more. He's telling me that he's ready to fish in another live. So that was kind of cool to hear him say that. Let me get my list up here. We'll go from one feed to the other. We'll do the best we can. We got 24 watching on each side of the feed, so that's pretty cool to see. All right, we'll start off saying hello to Miss Cindy Stokes. How you doing, Cindy? What's going on? Crappie Day Darren watching on his phone. Dan Oral, what's going on, Dan? Greg Burgess, Heather Stokes. There's James over at Cool Cat Fishing. Nubby the legend himself. Catfishing. What's up, Nubby? How you doing? Oh man, you should see some of his saltwater fishing stuff. Pretty cool stuff. I watch that on TikTok when he puts it out there. There's Paul Boyd. There's our buddy Troy from Real and Virtual Outdoors. Schmieder of the Cedars is here as well. Over on the other side, we got Heather Stokes. Nubby's on there too, and Chrissy Brown's watching on there. If we missed you, we'll definitely shout you out during the show. There's Greg Burgess. What's going on, Greg? He seems to be watching on his phone as well. If you're watching on your TV and you're getting the vertical feed, you could always go to the main page and click on the other live feed, because there's two going simultaneously, like I tried to explain, and you could click on the vertical feed and watch it on your TV. So we're trying to make everybody happy, which always isn't so easy to do, Lyle. You know that, right?
Yeah, I do.
That makes me cranky when I got to make everybody happy.
Really?
Yeah.
Cranky.
I've been especially cranky the last week. Quit smoking again. 8 days now.
Good for you. Good for you.
You know, when I hit 7 days, one official week, I wanted to celebrate with a cigarette, but my wife threatened to kill me in my sleep, so I did not do that.
I understand.
So Thanksgiving's coming up, Lyle.
Yes.
You got any big plans for Thanksgiving? Well, we're going to have the day before Thanksgiving show next week, so we'll talk a little later about what we might have planned for that.
Yeah. I don't have any plans. Don't make plans.
No,
I'll tell you what I plan on, Mark. I plan on fishing.
I plan on eating.
I plan on fishing. I fished today. I fished yesterday. I fished the day before.
You know, I got pictures of some fish. Maybe we ought to share them right now. Give me 1 second to bring these up here.
Have you been fishing? No, you've been deer hunting.
I've been deer. We'll talk about that too. We'll get to that. We're not going to get all excited. I've been deer hunting no matter how much that Troy has been talking smack to me, saying I can't shoot the broadside of a barn with my crossbow.
He did say that. I heard it.
Oh man, the guy he does nothing to inspire me sometimes, you know, Lyle. Nothing whatsoever.
I got you.
All right, let's share this screen now. We're going to show some of Lyle's catches from this week. All right, here we go. Lyle's been doing some crappie fishing. There we go. Look at that. There's a nice mess from earlier in the week.
Yeah.
Another mess on the tailgate. Look at that. Some good eaters. That's not too bad. I'd have put that one back, but you like them little fish, you know, and you're a little guy too. So tell me about that one, Lyle. That's a dandy.
That was a dandy. I got that one this morning, that 13-inch fish, just shy of 13. I just fishing along there, shooting some video, and that baby hit, and I thought, man, this is a good fish. And it come to the top of the water and flopping around. I thought, oh man, this is a good one. I went to lift it up. I didn't have a net, so I went to lift it up with the rod, and the rod bent way over. The reel started screaming, drag out. I had to reach down, grab a line, and top it in, because a bit of the flop it got off, but it was hooked to the top of the head, and it didn't go anywhere. It was a great fish.
It looks like a good net for sure.
Yeah, it is. It was a great fish. It's the best one I've caught in a few weeks. So I was pretty taken with it. That's one of the hardest fighting fish, crappie, that I ever caught. I mean, that baby put up a battle.
Look at what Chrissy says. That fish is almost as big as Lyle.
That's a giant. I consider that anything over 10, 12 inches is a big fish. So when I caught that 15 1/4, that was a stud, but it didn't fight as hard as this one did.
There's another basket. You know, those fish baskets, the best thing they ever did was put that floating lid on them suckers, I gotta say.
Absolutely, because if they don't float, a lot of them will get out. Or they can.
Not just that, the basket, I remember when I was younger, the basket always crushed the panfish that were in there, and it wouldn't keep them alive. Oh, we missed this last week. I was going to show this too. This was my backyard during the Northern Lights. Isn't that a cool picture, Lyle?
That is. Very
and
cool.
this one is over. Troy sent me. Well, I drove by Troy's house, and this picture was over his house.
Oh,
The fish was over a bunch of people's houses, I know.
oh man.
Oh, and then this is what my view's been like for the last couple of days.
That's funny right there. I don't care who you are.
So that's what I've been up to. So
Heck yeah.
good stuff.
So how many deer have you seen this year? Deer hunting?
Well, you know, Lyle, I saw him. All right, the first I've been out like 3 times. The first 2 times I saw like 4 the first time and like 7 the second time, but they're way too far away for me to take a poke at them. They're like, you know, through the rangefinder, they were 250, 275 yards away. So with a crossbow, that's that's pretty far to take a poke at them. Look at that, Troy enjoying himself there. So I didn't get a chance to take a shot at him. So I've moved the blind twice. This time goes pretty good. I haven't been able to go out there for the last couple of days. So maybe that'll give him time to get used to where I moved it to. I got it tucked in between some briars and stuff, and they come home wearing like half of them. But that's okay. That's the cost
that's right.
That's the cost of playing, you know.
Doing business.
And I went shopping without you yesterday, actually, Lyle.
I'm very disappointed in that.
I went over to Muddy, I believe it's called GoMuddy.com, and I bought a couple of cellular trail cams. So we'll be able to keep an eye on that spot the whole time. So once they get here, I'm looking forward to that.
Sounds good.
What's up, Norman? How you doing? I want to say hello to Buggy too. I saw Bugman22 come in. Who else did I see come in here? I saw Butterflies and Sunshine. How you doing, Butterflies and Sunshine? Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's see what Greg has to say. It says, Lyle and Mark, I want to thank everyone for the birthday wishes and the prayers for my surgery. I am doing great. I'm happy to hear that, Greg.
That is good news. That's good news.
And there's Norman Mountain. How you doing, Norman? What's going on? Thanks for coming in. If you guys are watching on your phone and you haven't subscribed to the show, please do so. Hit that subscribe button. And we appreciate it if you could hit that thumbs up, double tap your screens. That would be great, too. Hey, Lisa, what's going on, Lisa? How you doing, dear?
Lisa, I did not do that.
Lisa says, I see Lyle learned how to start the live this week. It's good they're giving you all the grief this time instead of me.
Well, if it's got to be one of us, I'd much rather be you than me.
And there's Catfish with us. What's going on? Hopefully you're feeling better too. He had some health issues not too long ago. Been there, done that. So I know you're going.
Yeah, I'm hoping they get to where they get out and do some fishing, but they may. I don't know. I guess they fish in wintertime. I think everybody does. Unless the water's froze, the fish will still bite. I'm just saying.
You know, I'm going to bring that up too. All I see around here is everybody's getting all antsy for ice fishing, Lyle.
Screw that.
They are getting excited here and north of here. That's all I'm seeing. There's certain YouTube creators out there that live up in Canada. They're already on the ice. Holy smokes. But they're way, way up there. So that's pretty crazy. I don't think I'd want to be doing that at all.
Yeah, I ain't doing that. Our buddy James, he keeps saying he's going to get me out ice fishing this year, and I told him the only way I'm going to ice fish is if he drills a hole next to the dock where I can stand on it and fish through the hole.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, and I might even try that on the river here. So I don't know. We'll see. I still have my auger, my electric auger. So only thing I don't have is the electronics, but that doesn't mean I can't poke a hole in next to a couple of docks over on the river and give it a shot. So we'll see. I know that JT over at Port Barrington Marine are my sponsor. He already pulled the dock. Well, listen to this. He's a great guy. He usually pulls the dock every year, and he usually pulls it right out of the river, right? What he did this year is he pulled it right next to the bank. So if I still wanted to launch, I could, and I could just dock my boat up right next to that dock on the bank. So thank you, JT, if you're listening, for doing that. We definitely appreciate the few of us that still get out there and fish. So
that's pretty cool. Gracie Brown says, I'll watch the ice fishing from the comfort of my warm and cozy home. I agree 100%. Ice fishing, Illinois. I'll watch from the one from my living room. Yep. And whoop. What happened? Oh, there we go. Chris says, ice fishing is for people that hate life. Done it twice in Canada, never again. Yeah, I ain't doing it. We've talked about this many, many times. When that ice cracks, that's a pucker factor for me. I don't want no part of it. And it's gonna crack. It just is.
If it's cracking and making noise, that means it's growing. We've had this conversation year after year, but you don't believe me.
Well, you know, maybe I don't care. I ain't getting out on it, taking the chance.
Let's, we're going to talk. Hold on a second right here. Butterfly and Sunshine says they're doing a pop-up live tomorrow, I guess, on Fish on Ed Evans' channel. Practice putting up the new ice shelter in the backyard. There you go. Check that out.
There you go. Jump all over. In the backyard would be one thing, but out on the water or something else.
Some of the good things about ice fishing, Lyle. You don't need a cooler for your beverages.
No, I'm sure that's right.
And you got a heater, so you don't really even need to wear a jacket if you're inside a shanty.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a boat. So you're saving money on gas. Right?
Okay.
Access to areas you don't normally have access to.
Not interested.
What did Norman say? Norman says, I catch ice out of my sweet tea, Tennessee version of ice fishing.
There you go. Makes sense to me.
There's Mark Barnum. What's going on, Mark? How you doing?
Hey, Mark.
Mark says he quit ice fishing when he left Colorado. Speaking of Colorado, I have a cousin, a younger cousin of mine. His older brother's my age, but he was a blessing baby, if you know what I mean. I hate for them to call them mistakes, but he was a blessing. And he moved out to Colorado. And I think we've talked about this before. He says that I inspired him to get out and fish, and he's become quite the accomplished fly fisherman, because that's what you do in Colorado, in the mountains of Colorado.
A lot of times, yeah.
He went mule deer hunting for the first time, Lyle. He got a monster. So congratulations to my cousin Michael.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of that. It was a giant.
He got him. He hit him from 200 yards away up in the mountains, and you could see how happy he was in them pictures. That was pretty cool. So congratulations to him.
There's nothing better out there. I'll tell you, it's great.
Gigability says ice fishing, and he's laughing. But he's laughing. We got all these Southerners in here. There's a good tip right there from Linda over at Butterflies and Sunshine. She says, don't take chances. Don't go out unless 4 inches thick. Last year, we had as much as 12 inches of ice. That's a lot of ice.
It is a lot of ice.
You know what I always do? I always have somebody bigger than me go out there first and let them test the ice, Lyle.
Heck yeah, it makes sense to me. How are you going to get them out if they fall through?
That's what the rope is for. I always bring a rope.
Oh, okay.
I'll throw them the rope and hook it onto the snowmobile if we got one, or try to just yank them out of there. And then you got the ice picks and stuff. There, where there's a will, there's a way. It's not that bad.
I can't imagine how cold that'd be getting out on the ice after you fell in cold water.
Well, that being said, I do have another friend of mine that I fish with quite a bit. Tony, he's fallen through the ice one time, and he's never been ice fishing again. I think that was like 10 years ago. So,
Brian B., thank you so much for the vote of confidence there, big guy.
Yeah, that's going to go. I made a rule for Troy, Brian, and rule goes for you too. We're not reading your complaints unless they're attached to a super chat, my friend. And I get nothing out of this deal, Lyle. This is Lyle's channel. Linda says, yeah, me too. Ed's two of me. Yeah, Linda's a tiny thing, so let Ed go out there. Hey, there's Rhonda from Fishing with Whiskers. She isn't going out there either.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Sounds like a bunch of smart folks.
Gig says Mark's got some snowmobile wreck to fish on top of. Yeah, that would be nice.
Didn't you used to have a snowmobile?
No, I had a side-by-side. I got rid of that a while ago.
Yeah.
That would have been nice. So some of them deals them guys have, they got set up, they got, heaters on them. They got the electronics mounted on the inside. All they got to do is drop the transducer on top of the ice because, them transducers work on top of clear ice. You pour a little water down first.
Right.
Works really well. So they got the good setups. We were talking to Brian Brosdale back. We had a show with him a good long time ago.
Yeah.
And he's a guide up in Minnesota, and he has a Suburban with tracks that they fish right out of. He's got holes cut in the floorboards of that with tubes he drops in there. You never got to get out of the truck when you're fishing that.
I got to tell you, I got to watching videos last year or the year before about ice fishing. These guys got trailers they pull out that's got sleeping quarters and cooking and everything in them and holes in the floor of them. If I was going to do it, that's how I would want to do it. You drive I ain't driving my truck out on no ice, but these guys would drive their truck right up to these campers and they'd stay in there and fish for 2 or 3 days and then get in their truck and drive off. And no. But if I was going to do it, that's how I'd want to do it.
Up in northern Minnesota, I believe, there is a bar. Hold on, we'll get to it. There is a bar in one of those ice castles, they're called, where you can sit at the bar and turn your stool around and you can fish right where you're drinking.
Yeah, that'd be okay. Yeah, we talked about going up there a few years ago,
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun. We'll have to look that place up. Mark Barnum says a couple of buddies and I snowmobile into a lake and shaved 3 feet of snow off the ice. And the auger hit the water at the bottom of the motor and at the top of the auger. Yeah, sometimes ice gets pretty darn thick up there. They sell extensions for those augers for that very reason. Let's see what Brian B gave us. Brian B with the $5 super chat says, well, Mark, poop the bed and read that sucker. Love you, buddy. You see the grief I take for you, Lyle?
I understand. I really do.
We appreciate it, Brian.
We do very much.
Rhonda says she will happily host from the wharf of my home, but ain't no way I will be out on that ice, man.
Yeah, I got you.
Let me ask the people in chat this. Where's your sense of adventure? That's why at 55 years old, I'm just starting to hunt because I'm not going to sit on my couch and do nothing. I'm going to get out there. I'm going to try something different. I think you guys should do. Be safe, but try something different. That's all I'm going to say.
I agree.
You guys are making me crankier than normal.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I can be pretty cranky usually. And here come the text messages already. I'm getting, here we go. I'll answer that one later.
Oh,
Chrissy says, that ice starts talking, I will lose all bodily functions.
Yep, I got you.
Greg says, Mark, I have ice fish down here. When the water freezes, the saltwater fish start floating and dying. We have a big fish kill last winter. Yeah, that'll happen here too. That actually happens every year. There's always shad that washes up. And, the catfishing's pretty good in the spring because they're eating on all that winter kill. So use it to your advantage, folks.
That's right. That's what you want to do.
Yeah, Butterflies and Sunshine said Don Robinson, that's Uncle Don, has an ice hut like that. He can sit on his sofa and fish through the floor.
That's pretty cool. It really is. I watched some videos, and some of them things are amazing.
They're pretty nice. I mean, we saw our buddy Luke Henges, right? He was in that one fishing for your favorite fish, sturgeon, and they had a pizza oven in there. They had an electric fireplace. They had everything going in that sucker.
Heck yeah, man. I mean, all the comforts of home. Some of them, I don't know if they call them ice shanties or ice campers or what they call them. Some of them cost as much as a good house. I mean, they're pretty damn fancy.
Well, they're technically an RV with hydraulics.
Exactly. And a hole in the floor, a couple of holes in the floor.
Couple holes in the floor. They actually lower down right onto the ice, and them guys, they move them quite often. You can rent one of them too with a guide. They'll find the fish for you and park that sucker over them. You go out there and rent it for a few $100 a night, and I don't know, it seems like it'd be pretty good. They bring everything out to you. They bring propane out. They bring your bait out to you. It doesn't sound like a bad deal.
With ice like that, I think having somebody bring your bait would be very handy. Because how are you going to get bait if it's water's frozen?
Well, they use minnows for the most part up there during that time of year.
They're just fishing for little fish. Hell, I'd want to catch catfish or something.
You can catch catfish. You just use some cut bait. Just bring that with you.
Blues bite. Of course, there ain't no blues up there probably, but channel cat. There's lots of channel cats.
You know, I've caught plenty of channel cats through the ice, and it's always fun to catch them. They taste pretty good out of cold water, nonetheless. So can't complain there. Chrissy says my sense of adventure was driving all the way to Wisconsin.
That was a fun time.
And getting on a boat with Jerry H. and passing out on his deck. Oh my goodness. I don't remember you passing out.
No, but I remember her and Ernie being on his boat.
That I do remember. If you guys come up next year, Chrissy, you can get on my boat. No doubt whatsoever. We'll get you and Ernie and Jerry out there. We'll have a good time. Linda says, try it. You'll like it. I hate the cold, but love ice fishing. There you go. Uh-oh. Troy sent us a Facebook message. Let me check that.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen anything.
Yeah, he sent it to me. I'm not showing that, Troy. Mark says a couple of times we could fish in a t-shirt in Colorado because the sun was so warm. You could take your coat off. You know, I have an insulated Eskimo ice shanty, the same one I took to Mendota to do spring camping in, which is nice because it stays nice and warm. And I can get that thing warm enough to where I'm fishing in a t-shirt and it's 20 degrees outside. So they work fantastic.
That's pretty warm. It really is. If you can, I know we went to fish with John Nordyke, had just had a new enclosure put on his boat. We fished winter blues with them one year. Cindy and I did. It was when the sun was shining, I could sit inside that. Really, you turn the heater off because the sun's shining through. His has a lot of clear plastic on it, and it'd get hot in there. I'd have to crack the zipper open on it to get air because it'd just be so hot. And it was very comfortable. So I guess it didn't take much. You're only heating a little space, so a Mr. Heater or something like that probably warm one of them right up.
I got a Mr. Heater I run in that deer blind. It works pretty good if it gets cold.
Oh yeah, I've done the same thing. Mm-hmm. I have a 2-burner one that mounts big burners, 2 of them side by side, mounts to the top of the propane 30-gallon propane tank. And I'm telling you right now, you don't have it in a blind on high, but just for a second, you're turning it down or off because it gets way too hot.
I think, how I always complain about it kind of being cold out. My hands always getting real cold, and that pretty much stops me from fishing. I finally broke down and I bought one of those, I guess you would call it a hand muff. I don't know. Take it for what it's worth, folks. People are going to take that the wrong way, but that's what they're called. And they're battery powered, and they got a little heating element in there with a USB power pack, and they seem to work to keep my hands nice and warm. So I'll be doing a little more fishing. The perch are starting to come in here into the big, down here in Chicago. So we might get out there and do a trip or two. So
I'll tell you when my hands get cold, it's cleaning fish.
Yep. Well, you can always do that in your kitchen too. So.
Well, I clean them out there so I don't have a mess at home. But they had pumps, manual pumps, like the old time pumps. They had those at the dock where you clean your fish, but they took them out. And I'm trying to figure out why, because them things never froze up. The old timers used them year round. The water drains back down though. Why they take them out is beyond me. That's the dumbest shit I ever heard of, but they did. So, but they have an outside hydrant that 2 of them, because that has free camping up there, and they had disposal for people in campers and stuff to drain out their campers. And they have wash hydrants there, 2 of them, and I just go over there, and if the hose is hooked up to it, I just unscrew the hose and wash my knife off and my hands off, and I carry bar soap. And if you'll read on like Coast and Zest, I don't remember what other brands, those have stuff in there that does not hurt the water. They're eco-friendly soaps, and you can wash your hands, get the smell off of you. It's deodorant soap, sort of, so it kind of keeps you from getting it all over your vehicle and everything. And I do that every day that I fish. So
yeah, Ivory soap works good for that. You could pretty much take a bar of Ivory soap into a river with you and take a bath if you had to, and it wouldn't hurt anything.
That's what they say about Zest and Coast, and there's a few others. Ivory Ivory's one of the big things, been around for God, I don't know. But I was specifically looking for something like that would actually take the smell off of your hands and be eco-friendly, because of some of these places where they have those pumps, that's going to drain back down into the lake. And if it's not going to be friendly to the water system, I wouldn't have used it. But it says right on it that it is, right on the box. And I keep the box in case I get questioned about that. I just slip this bar back inside the box and put it in a Ziploc bag. And if anybody says, well, you shouldn't be dumping that soap in here, I said, look at here, it says right on it. So
also, remember back in the day when they had that Exxon Valdez and they were washing all those birds in Dawn dishwashing? I guess that'd really not do any damage either, but I would read into it and bet you it would work too. Greg has a comment, so I can get caught up here, Lyle. It says, Mark, when that happens, when he's talking about the ice kill that happens down there, Warren's just let them net the fish because they're going to die anyway. So yeah, that makes sense. Why let them go to waste? So
that's right.
Oh, I wanted to bring this up too in case Jody's watching in the background. Butterflies and Sunshine brought up, Brian, did you steal Jody's recipe for mashed potato bread? Oh my God.
What is mashed potato
bread? We got to bring this up since Thanksgiving coming. Jody's doing some Thanksgiving cooking videos, right?
Jody is?
She did. She's done 2. She's done 2 so far. The first one was she took instant potatoes and balled them up like the size of maybe, I don't know, a racquetball, I'm guessing, right? It's hard to guess how big they were from the short that she posted. And she put margarine in the middle of it and closed them off and put them on a plate and said, boom, there you go. There's a side dish for Thanksgiving, Lyle.
And what did you call those?
Jody balls. I don't know. Jody's potato balls. I don't know. If you guys got a better name for Jody's balls in chat, I'd love to hear.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then she made a second video where she took one of those potato balls, right? and smashed it onto a piece of white bread, smeared more margarine all over the top of it. You got to go to her channel and watch. And then microwaved it.
That's how I like to eat brownies, with a half a pound of butter on them.
But no, there's a difference between butter and margarine.
And cinnamon rolls.
Cinnamon rolls, you need butter too.
Yeah.
Or even like a Danish or something, a pecan Danish. My wife will put butter on there. She got me eating them like that. But yeah, that's good.
Pecan Danish, they're really good. Hey, there's a Benoit ladies that made it in.
Hey, ladies, how you doing? Look at this. Chrissy's calling it mashed potato bread.
What's that?
Chrissy called it mashed potato bread.
Mashed potato bread.
She says it sounds bad. Mark Barnum says Colorado, most of the time, there's a layer of slush under the snow. So we could make a live well on the ice and keep the trout alive till we went home. Yeah, we would do that too, Mark. We would drill like a hole with our augers, a bunch of them, and connect them half the depth of the ice, and we would use that for a live well. We used to do stuff like that as well. If there's slush under an ice, though, it can make it really dangerous. You got to be careful, unless you got feed ice.
Them guys still use them railroad picks or them things to check the ice, the thickness.
They're called spud bars.
They're railroad bars. I don't know what you call them, but my buddy Jack, he used to have hundreds of them things. He worked for a railroad for 100 years, and it's kind of like the big old chains that they use to pull them cars around when they don't have everything hooked up. I was over at his house one night. He said, "You need a chain," and I said, "Yeah, why? I always use a chain around the garage." He said, "Well, how about this one?" And I seen that thing that's like 76,000 tensile strength on the tag on it. And I said, "How many of them you got?" He said, "Well, I'm not done getting them." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "I told the guy that distributes them just to throw me out one." He said, "How many?" "One." He said, "Just throw me out one a night until I tell you to quit." I used to have a couple of them. My God, you could pull cars with them and it never take the bow out of them. They was mean.
I got to add something to that. They're called spud bars, right? And right. You put them out in front of you and you poke the ice like 3 times. If it doesn't go through, they weigh like 15 to 20 pounds.
Yeah,
they're pretty heavy. And if they don't go through, it's usually pretty safe for you, right? Well, right. There's a little string on the end of it, a loop. You want to put that around your wrist, so if it does go through, you still got your spud bar. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know.
One, didn't you? How many did you lose is the question.
Just once. That's all. Usually I learn one time.
I'll tell you what I used them for. Put motors in cars. We back in the day we used to put motors in cars that wasn't supposed to be in them, and you'd have to pry and bend and beat and bang stuff around to get them big blocks in where a small motor would bend. You just take that thing and you can move things around and make them fit real easy with one of those spud bars.
They're pretty, you need them out there, but I'll tell you what, having that extra 15 to 20 pounds on your sled is not a good thing. We did say hello to Benoit Fishing Outdoors. I say, who are these cranky anglers? Well, it's us. Yeah, we finally named the show, rightfully so. Norman Mountain says a disposable hand warmer in a shirt pocket near your heart really helps with keeping your core warm. They do 100%. I got a box of them here that I've had for like 2 years. I bought them on sale at the end of the year, and they're the body warmers by the hand warmer company. I forget who makes them. I can't see that far away. It's kind of tucked in behind some other stuff, but they have adhesive on the back of them that you could stick to your body or to your shirt. So, and I even seen our buddy Luke Nichols from Outdoor Boys. You see, he started putting videos out again, Lyle. He
I
uses
see
those
that.
on his sons, but he's putting videos out. I guess he didn't retire, huh?
Well, he said he was going to, but things happen.
They
I
do.
think that from my understanding, and I don't know this because I haven't talked to Luke in several years, but I understand that he was getting a lot of grief over the kids, and you can't have that. You just can't have it.
Yeah, that's why his comments are always turned off on his videos. I believe he just doesn't put up with it, understandably so. So
yeah, I would do the same thing. I would do the very same thing.
Butterflies and Sunshine said they work similar in a heated vest. Yeah, those are pretty nice. They got them out there too now, just like those hand warmers. Or like Brian.
I put a coat on 1 or 2 days last week that I fished, and when it was down to the high 30s, low 40s, it was actually 30, like 31 one morning I went out. But like today, it wasn't that bad. The wind wasn't blowing, and I put a sweatshirt on. That was it. So.
Yeah, it was last 2 times I was in the blind. It was like 48, 50 degrees, and I was in there in the hoodie, and I was fine. Just as long as I'm out of the wind isn't too bad.
Yeah. If you're catching fish, you don't even notice it. The only thing that really gets cold on me is my hands. But you got to either have thin gloves or no gloves because you're constantly taking off fish or changing baits, and you got to take your hands in and out of them gloves all. You might as well leave the damn things off. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it just works out for me to do it that way. But I have to say they do feel good sometimes. And on a windy day, I like a hoodie to keep it from blowing in my ear because I don't like earaches.
One thing I learned is that a hoodie's nice even in the blind, but it does hinder your ability to hear when you're trying to listen for things. So.
And they can your vision. When you turn your head, sometimes they don't turn with your head, and it will alter your vision. So I like a Carhartt coat or something, and not zip or tie down the hood on it, and that works for me because it stays away from you. It knocks the wind out kind of, but it stays away from you where you kind of move around. Not when I was hunting, that's how I've done it.
And flip that collar up too. That helps keep the wind off
your back. I always hunted in bibs and a jacket, and I'd leave the jacket open, and I'd stick my hands between the bibs and my shirt. My hands never got cold.
Yeah, that's what you do when you're ice fishing with the bibs. You always got them up here and, between the bibs, your hands, to keep them warm for the most part. But the problem is once your hands get cold, you're pretty much chilling your core out too. So you got to keep that in mind.
The other thing that gets cold on me is my hands and my feet. But Cindy got me a pair of, I don't know what kind of boots they are, and I know where she got them, but they had like 3 different types of liners that went in them, and one of them was big old 2,000 grams of thinsulate. My feet never got cold. They never got cold. They just, and if it wasn't butt raping cold, then you used a lighter one, and if it was they had 3 different thicknesses, and there's a felt ones. They was really yeah, I just couldn't hardly wear them, even when it was really brutally cold. I could hardly wear them. They was just too hot.
Benoit Fishing Outdoors chimed in. She says, my mama used to make fried instant mashed potato balls with cheese. The cheese would help. My mom used to do that too with leftover mashed potatoes, but she'd put cheese in them, but she would also bread them with breadcrumbs too and fry them that way. And those are pretty good. So Brian says she called them mashed potato balls.
Mashed potato balls.
Benoit says the spud bar is a must, 100%.
Yeah, I would think so. If you was ice fishing, I think you'd have to have one of them. Can you just buy them anywhere?
The spud bars?
And stuff?
I'm sorry?
Can you buy them at like Farm and Home and places like that?
Oh yeah, they sell them
I
all
never
over.
bought one. People always give them to me that work for railroads and stuff. I never had to buy one.
Nope, they sell them. They're not all that expensive too. I think I paid like $20 for the last
Yeah,
one.
I was gonna say it's just a piece of iron. Whatever.
If I was, I think I got mine right out in the garage. I'd go get it to show everybody, but I think they know what we're talking about. So,
no, I'm sure they do.
Greg Bird just says, Mark, 48 degrees is cold to me. When it gets down to the lower 50s, my bones don't want to move.
You'd have a tough time up here in the winter then, buddy.
My bones don't want to move lately anyway, so it is what it is.
That's
100%. So what were you catching them crappie on Lyle in this cold water? What seems to be working for you?
I caught that one today on a clear 2-inch stinger from Leslie Bacon at Little Miss Bacon Baits. Now, the ones that I caught the other day that was not quite that big, but good fish, I caught a couple of them on hand ties, and I caught a couple of them on a black and silver 2-inch stinger. But these fish, Mark, you'll be catching them and then they'll just stop. And it don't matter what you do. And I started downsizing and going from 2-inch to 1-inch stingers and different baits, and started catching them again. And those, I don't have any of them laying here. I put them on the truck. The baits that I made, that I showed you, that I make out of UV resin. Oh man, they're killer at certain times. They're just like everything else. Nothing works all the time, but when they're on them, you can't beat them off of them. But I have yet to catch anything bigger than 10 inches on them. But you know that you don't have any control over. They're working really, really well. But I even had some of them little bitty one baits from Leslie the other day. It got to where I couldn't catch a fish, and I put them underneath the bobber, and boom, caught 3 just right away. My bobber fishing, and the last video that I shot today, I talked about that in there, and I've got it edited. I just got to put an intro and outro on at the end of it. But I struggle with bobber fishing because I enjoy it so much. Man, there's not too much more exciting watching that bobber just slammed underneath the water and you catching them fish like that. And the small baits work really good underneath there because it doesn't take a lot of wind to move that bobber around. It gives them a lot of action. And this brush pile, the water is so low at this little lake that the brush pile is about 1.5 or 2 foot underneath the water, and part of it is actually sticking up, so you have to really watch it or you get hung up on it, even with the brush guards on it. But man, you just throw it out over top of there with them little bitty old things, and it no more hits the water a lot of times than they're on it. Just the little baits is when they get finicky and they don't want to bite, just downsize, and it's been working for me. But it seems to me like, Mark, about between 9:30 and 11, they just stop. And I don't care what you tell you, catching them. They just won't do anything. And I don't know if they're moving or if they're just done. But I've got some shots on video coming up for people to watch where these crappie will run up there and they'll lunge at these baits and they flash you and they hit the bait, but they don't get it. And I've got 2 or 3 shots of that where you could actually see them flashing, hitting the bait, and not hooking up. Man,
are you sure they're crappie though?
Yeah, absolutely.
You are okay, because a lot of times like big shiners will do that around these parts too. They'll hit your bait and they can't get it in their mouth, but you'll definitely see the flash. So
well, these guys a lot of times they'll hit it and spit it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, the brush pile, the dock point is here, and the brush pile starts out here and it V's in to this dock. So there's a percentage of the brush piles right underneath of me. And every once in a while, you'll hit them. I'll just cast out 3 or 4 feet and let it pendulum down right in front of that corner of that dock, and boom, you'll catch 3 or 4 of them, then they'll quit. You wait for them to move back in there and do it again. So,
You had mentioned something that kind of reminded me of what I like to do. You had mentioned that brush pile sometimes is sticking out the top of the water, right?
yeah.
I'll look for stuff like that. There's been countless times where I've seen just a little stick sticking right up, straight out of the water.
Yep.
And I'll cast, 20 feet away from it, 10 feet away from it, nothing. But if I can get right over to that, it can be just one stick in the water, and chances are there's probably fish there. That goes to show you how much they're, attracted to structure, if anything.
That's exactly right. And this late summer, when I was catching them big days, catching lots and lots of fish, they wasn't over the brush pile. You couldn't catch them over the brush pile. You would catch them off to the side of it. They, for some reason, I can't explain that. I don't know why that is. But if you tried to fish over top of it, you wouldn't catch them. But if you would just drag along beside it, you just nail it.
Yeah, what I've learned with your favorite piece of fishing technology, live scope, that the fish on top of and outside of brush piles, they're usually the ones that are more active than the ones that are buried deep
I
inside
think
there.
you're right about that. Mike Irwin has joined us. Glad to see you in here, buddy. It's been a while.
Same with Josh over at the Weekend Angler. What's going on, Josh? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Josh, how you doing?
Hey, Mike, what's going on?
Seen it, Mike. Josh has got 2 or 3 good videos that's recently been put out. If you get a chance, go over to Weekend Angler and check him out. He's done some really good job on the last 2 or 3. Of course, he does good on most of them, but the last 2 or 3 was exceptionally well done.
Just checking my messages just in case Troy sent me something else.
Greg Burgess says, I love to see that bobber go down when I'm red fishing. Yeah, I bet that is exciting because they get bigger than crappie do.
I actually have a couple of those redfish floats. I forget the name of them, but basically somebody takes a wire bender and it runs it right through the middle of that cork, right? And they make noise when you kind of snap them. They're pretty cool. I think I won them from Jeremy Colvin. I think he did a giveaway one year, and I won a few of those. I think I just saw them sitting up on my wall in the garage. So maybe I'll give them a shot.
Using those for years, catfish.
Yep.
Joey Kirby's been using them for years. He's also the one that fishes with Stacy Gaston a lot, or used to, and every time he'd go to get cut bait, there would be nothing but tails. Everybody would beat him to the body sections and the heads, and he just got tired of cutting bait, so he started using tails. And he got telling me, he said, maybe you catch fish on the tail. And I've used tails since then. I have started using tails, and I catch fish on tails. So don't. If you're short on bait, definitely do not throw your tails away. Just lay them off the side when you run out. Use them because you'll catch fish on tails. Maybe not as many, but I haven't noticed a whole lot of difference between the tails and the body sections.
Dragging baits for catfish, I've done better with tails than I've done with body sections or heads at times. I don't know what it is. I think it might have something to do with, I'll leave the fins on the tail with the motion of it, maybe, because it'll spin and flutter in the water. That might have something to do with it. Might have something to do with the scent as well. Because when I cut a tail off a bluegill, let's say I'm using it. Now this might be too much information, but I'll make sure that the vent, if you know what I'm talking about, is part of that tail piece. That could have something to do with it too. I don't know, but yeah, I've never not used the tail piece. So
I'll tell you, I was always told that fish eat other fish head first because the scales will go against them if they're trying to swallow them, and blah blah blah, all the reasons why they take them head first. But I'm telling you right now, they don't all do that. They'll take them from the tail. Crappie definitely will, and catfish will too. They will take them from the behind instead of head first. They'll take them from tail first and eat them. They may prefer to do it the other way, but they don't always do it. They are opportunists. and whatever's available, they're going to grab if they want a snack.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I mean, a predator is going to take advantage of any situation. If they're going to sneak up behind something, they're going to take it from the tail.
A lot of it is like crappie and bass and catfish. They don't nibble at bait like a bluegill does. A bluegill go up there and mouth around on it sometimes before taking it. These open their mouth and they inhale and they suck it in. So how are they going to know what to, and they can get it sideways? It don't make any difference. Just take it.
Well, I've seen, bluegill, when they're, especially when I had the underwater camera, when I was ice fishing a lot, definitely bluegill would inhale them baits just as much, but yeah, they'll nibble on the end of it too if it's kind of being picky on how it's eaten. So
Josh says, don't be afraid to try tail sections. I was fishing Baldwin with Parker a few years ago, wasn't getting bit, switched to tail section and couldn't keep the fish off the hook. When he said Jerry Parker and tail, I had something else altogether come to my mind. Maybe it's because Parker's name was involved. I don't know. Brian B., thank you so much.
I'll let you read that, Lyle.
Lyle, you can talk to Santa. I know you got direct connections. Not going to say too much about that, but Mark needs a case of hand warmers and Chad needs new bras. That joker has lost a lot of weight. Brian, I'm quite proud of Chad. He's lost a lot of weight and he's down quite a bit, and we're very proud of what he's done. That's a huge accomplishment. For anybody that's ever tried to lose weight, you'll understand. And the people that don't have to worry about that, they'll never know.
Thank you, Brian, and congratulations, Chad. That is a pretty big accomplishment. So
it is. It's huge. It's huge. And if anybody hasn't seen it, there's a video out with Chad and Dee in it, and they're meeting their bait dealer, and they're jumping up and down. And in that video, you can really tell how much he's lost. He looks awesome. He really does.
Josh says, I tease my brother Chad about a lot of stuff, but I'm super proud of him, of his weight loss accomplishment. I'll deny saying that.
It's true, though. I mean, we talked about it Monday night before and the show, and it's just amazing. He's worked really hard at that. So he's done very well, and I know that he's happy about it. Sign my name to that. Heck yeah.
Good for both of them. Congratulations to him for sure.
Absolutely. It's hard to lose weight. It is just part of life, but if you work at it, it can happen. I can't stop eating. I like to eat.
I'm with you, Lyle. I am looking up because I want to put the link up for Jody's short so you guys can witness it yourselves. Actually, I'll put a link to her shorts page so you guys can see the video that we're talking about. So after the show, I want you guys to go over there and take a look at Jody's shorts on her cooking prowess and give her some reinforcement on that. So look at that. We got them on both there. There you go, folks. So check that out. So Lyle, next week's Thanksgiving, we'll be here on Wednesday. What do you want to talk about? I think we should do maybe since we were part of the whole Black Friday sale event on the bait shop back since like day one. Maybe we should keep that tradition up. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to challenge you to pick 5 items that we're not going to do a whole show on it. We're just going to do 5 items each of what you think's a real good deal or something you're looking forward to taking advantage of. What do you say?
Okay.
All right. That was easy enough.
Yeah.
And then maybe we can be cranky and find stuff we don't like too.
You never know.
Hmm. Josh says, I'm not going looking for Jody shorts. Kind of feel the same way. So, you got anything else for the good folks out there listening, Lyle?
I hope you guys like what we're doing. We're not going to just strictly talk about panfish, although right now I really love it, catching crappie and bluegill and stuff like that. But we're just going to have fun with this. And we're going to talk about Mark's deer hunting, and we're going to talk about catching crappie, and we're going to talk about catching bluegill. And if the subject of catfish comes up, we're going to talk about that. Or if Greg Burgess wants to tell us about catching those redfish, we'll do that, because that sounds like a lot of fun too.
And this will be the last one of the night. Josh says, y'all be good. It's the season that Lyle is making the list and checking it twice. And there's Joe Buck. We didn't say hello to Joe Buck. I want to make sure we shout him out. Thanks for supporting the channel for so long, Joe. It's always good.
That's right. You're a prize, and we think the world of you. So thanks for coming in tonight. And so you're here every week. So.
You know, I got something I might run by you after the show. I just had an idea. Everybody, have a great week. Get ready for Thanksgiving. Make arrangements to spend time with breaking bread with the people that matter to you. All right. Anything else, Lyle?
Nope. Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next week.
Bye, everybody.